School leaders urge parents to enroll migrant students in public schools. Hurricane Erin could bring dangerous rip currents to New York City beaches. And the Crown Heights community is on edge after a weekend mass shooting. From WNYC, this is NYC Now. I'm Janae Pierre. The city's Department of Education is urging parents of newly arrived migrant children to enroll them in public school as classes start next month. That comes after local officials say immigration authorities detained several students during routine court check-ins, including a 7-year-old last week. School's Chancellor Melissa Aviles Ramos says the DOE is ramping up support to parents.
This is something that's very near and dear and personal to me. We have amped up the number of Know Your Rights trainings for our families, Know Their Rights training for our parent coordinators, for our parent leaders, for our principals and our teachers, because we think that's so important.
She says schools remain safe spaces, and the department is committed to protecting students and families. Hurricane Erin has re-intensified to a Category 4 storm after weakening over the weekend. The storm is moving closer to the southeast Bahamas with about 130-mile-per-hour winds. It's expected to stay well offshore, and no direct impact is forecast for the New York area. But New York City beachgoers should take note. Dangerous surf and rip currents could show up along the coast over the next few days. Hurricane Erin is expected to remain a large, major hurricane into the middle of this week. A shooting in Brooklyn's Crown Heights neighborhood has neighbors in shock. We hit the scene for reactions after the break.
WNYC.
There's blood all over the place, bullets all over, bullet shells all over the place. 2 people was laying there dead. 1 girl shot in her face. Like 5 or 6 people outside shot. It was just crazy.
A shooting early Sunday morning in a Crown Heights hookah lounge has left 3 people dead and 11 others injured. Police are searching for 2 suspects they say were among those who opened fire at the lounge. So far, there have been no arrests. WNYC's Brittany Kriegstein is at the scene of the shooting. Brittany, describe the scene for us right now. What's the vibe there?
Sure, Janae. So I'll just say that we're speaking on Monday afternoon, and I'm at the intersection of Franklin Avenue and Carroll Street in Crown Heights. And I describe the scene as busy but eerie. What I mean by that is the usual activities of this community aren't happening. Instead, the street is closed. It's filled with the police department's crime scene unit, detectives, investigators, and several anti-violence organizations that have come out here with trucks and set up tents and tables to try to be a resource for community members who are reeling from what happened here.
Have you been talking to any folks in the neighborhood?
I have. And what people are saying is that this club, it's a neighborhood spot and they've had fun there in the past and things have usually been okay, but that at times, if it gets really crowded, it can give rise to violence. People have mentioned fights. They've mentioned disturbances that have spilled out onto the streets. They've even mentioned occasional gunshots fired, but never anything of this magnitude. I spoke to neighbor Chanel Blue, who lives directly next door to the club, and she says she normally sees a security guard stationed outside, especially on busy nights. She said she saw one even on the night that this happened, and she's just wondering, and many people are wondering, how people could have entered this club with guns, and how exactly everything was allowed to unfold the way it did. Obviously, these things happen quickly, but she says, and other people say, they'll never step foot inside again after this. My colleague Ramsey Khalife spoke to a few people who were near the scene right after this happened, when police were taking people to the hospital and dealing with the immediate aftermath, and they compared it to a war zone and a bloodbath. So those are really strong words, especially for this community that people say is normally just a friendly working neighborhood.
Yeah, again, 3 people dead, 11 others injured. Brittany, what do we know at this point about the victims who were killed and those who were injured?
So we know that Jamel Childs, he's 35, Marvin St. Louis is 19, and police are saying that those 2 in particular were involved in the exchange of gunfire. Then there's this 3rd person killed, that's 27-year-old Amadou Diallo. Police say he lived in Manhattan and were still trying to find out more information about why he was there at the club. I actually knocked on the doors of the other two, Child and St. Louis. Their families just didn't really want to talk about the incident. But we're still waiting to hear more about exactly how they were involved. Police are saying they may have exchanged words. Surveillance video showed them speaking to each other before the shots were fired. And then we have those 11 other people in the hospital with various injuries, and it's not clear exactly what condition they're all in at this point.
The NYPD has described this incident as a possible gang-related shooting. Where does the investigation stand right now?
Right, so that's what they're saying about the reasons that allegedly Jamel Childs and Marvin St. Louis were involved, but they're still looking for two additional people who were involved in the shooting, opening fire on the crowd, and we're not sure who those people are or any descriptions of them or what they were involved in. So there's still a lot of unanswered questions at this point.
I'm wondering, Brittany, how are city officials and community leaders responding to this shooting? Because, this is happening at a time when overall gun violence in New York City has been trending down.
That's right. And they've really been stressing that point. Eric Adams and NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch have been emphasizing that, yes, shootings are down citywide to really low levels that even have broken records in recent years. But it's important to say that this is the second mass shooting New York has experienced in recent weeks. We had that shooting in Midtown Manhattan at an office building that killed 4 people and the shooter. And so I think it's fair to say that residents are really reeling from this and trying to understand why this is happening, even as gun violence is down citywide. And those are really tough questions to ask. Gun violence is very complex, and community members are really grappling with this. City officials are really grappling with this. And of course, these anti-violence organizations are stepping in to try to really get to the bottom of what's happening and prevent further violence.
That's WNYC's Brittany Kriegstein. For the latest on this story, visit our news site, Gothamist. Thanks for listening to NYC Now from WNYC. I'm Janae Pierre. We'll be back tomorrow.